We are taught from a very young age that confidence sounds like a shout. In boardrooms, classrooms, and online spaces, society operates on a baseline assumption. The loudest person in the room is the leader. But pay attention to the person sitting quietly in the corner of that same room. They aren't scrolling on their phone. They aren't demanding attention. Yet their simple, steady observation creates a subtle wave of panic and discomfort for everyone around them. Most people assume that quiet person is bored, shy, or lacking the self-assurance to speak up. The reality is more calculated and intentional. When you are quiet, you keep your power. You become an enigma. People can't predict your next move if they don't know what you're thinking. Sitting in the corner, this person uses silence as an active strategy to map the environment and gather intelligence, while everyone else is busy performing. Words carry a strategic cost. Every time you speak, you give away a piece of your intent, or you expose a fragile part of your ego. Take a corporate analyst named Mark. For 3 years, he sat quietly at his desk, ignored by his performative, shouting boss, Greg. Greg treated Mark like a piece of furniture, constantly making jokes at his expense. Mark observed operational weaknesses, pinpointing a fatal flaw in the Peterson contract. Months later, Mark used this data, sending a single letter revealing Greg's hidden debt to investors. Greg's new venture collapsed within a month. By withholding the right information, Mark gained a tactical advantage that Greg's volume couldn't overcome. Why does encountering someone like Mark cause such intense anxiety for the average person? It triggers a specific biological reflex. Our ancestors learned to fear the quiet predator. A rustling bush is concerning, but absolute silence in the wild is deadly. We still experience that instinct today. When a person violates the expected social script, they push us into an uncanny valley of personality. Humans seek social feedback to feel safe. When we talk to someone who offers only silence in return, our brains interpret the lack of data as a threat, entering a state of panic. In that panic, we scramble to fill the gap. We start projecting our own insecurities into the void, often doing the observer's intelligence-gathering work for them. Consider a negotiator named Sarah, sitting at a dinner party surrounded by boastful, high-achieving professionals trying to out-intellect one another. Instead of arguing or asking prying questions, Sarah creates an intentional conversational vacuum. She simply offers neutral nods and polite smiles, refusing to challenge their claims. There is a behavioral pattern. The longer someone speaks to fill empty space, the more likely they are to reveal inconsistencies or overshare fabricated details. They tap their seat, their hands shake, eventually surrendering the very information they intended to hide. By holding the empty space, Sarah forces her targets to unravel their own facades and hand over their secrets without her ever making a demand. When you view communication through this lens, the tactics shift. Loud, emotional talking is an immediate, uncontrollable reaction, a shotgun blast. Purposeful silence is a measured, controlled response, a smaker shot. But wielding this level of control carries a specific burden, a sense of separation from those still caught in the noise. When you see through the social grooming and ego displays that dominate daily conversations, you start to feel isolated, even in the middle of a crowded room. You realize most people don't actually want to exchange ideas, they just want an audience. Yet this isolation carries a hidden advantage. It severs the need for external validation, leaving the observer free to operate entirely on their own terms. Our modern environment is engineered to be reactive. Between continuous notifications and algorithm-driven outrage, the daily default is an unrelenting stream of noise. The loud masses operate like a panicked flock, darting blindly toward the loudest voice. But the quiet observer stands entirely still, analyzing the stampede. You have a choice. You can surrender your leverage by joining the daily shouting match, or you can master the void to learn how the people around you truly think. True leverage belongs to the enigma. By choosing to say nothing at all, you become the unpredictable variable everyone else is subconsciously afraid of, yet desperately trying to understand.